So, we've got a revised weather lab now. I just want to give you guys a little bit of an overview. One, I apologize that it's taken me longer than I expected to get this lab ready. But as I go through the lab, I think you'll understand maybe a little bit of why I had to be careful on this one. So you're going to have several different parts of the lab, and it's broken up into a lot of little parts here, but it's still the same lab, approximately the same length. It's just there's lots of smaller questions in here. And you've got your lab manual section, which you find under your assigned readings there. When it comes to weather, one, it's changing very rapidly all the time, but more than that, because we had earthquakes that were changing too, the websites where you get information about the weather are constantly being changed. Not just the information in them, but what type of information is being offered, how it's set up, the web page design. So each time I do this lab, I have to go in and adjust the lab questions so that it addresses what you're going to see in the lab if you go to those links now. And sometimes I have to change up the links a lot. So I really went through this time and made some more extensive changes. So that's why it took a little bit longer here. So as you go through, as normal, there's going to be different parts of the labs. And we've got part 1 and part 2 on some of these, where on some of these you're using saved images. And then sometimes you're looking at real-time weather conditions. In the lab required readings, what you're going to find is part by part of the lab, it's going to give you the links to the images or the websites that you're using. Now, because sometimes we're going to be looking at weather across the country, I sometimes have a little bit hard time remembering which state is which, so I've included a link here for you for the maps on here, so that if you're looking at one of these maps and you see a blob but you're not sure what state that is, you can come back to this reference map if you need to. So some of them are saved ones, like this one. It's just a screenshot showing you part of the screen. And then some of these are actual websites that you will go to as a live website. And you might need to zoom in or you might need to scroll down the page as needed to find the information for that particular section. When it comes to NIST, we are actually getting our official time from this National Institutes of Standards and Technology. And you're going to be grabbing some screenshots here. Again, the website is constantly updating, but you need to make sure you've got a screenshot that shows at least the Eastern Standard and the Coordinated Universal Time, so that part over there. When it comes to the radar loop, that's going to show you a movie, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but that goes to YouTube. And then we've got the real-time ones where it zooms in on Orangeburg. And then to get the whole U.S., you can either go to the second link or you can simply zoom out on the map when you had it for the Orangeburg area. When you get to part 5 of the lab, I've got different satellite images here. And those are our static images, just a saved image from the web page. Nowadays, we actually do have, when you go to the current weather, it shows a short loop here. And it's hard to see on here, but when you actually go look at it, you'll see a little bit of that image on there. But when you go to take a screenshot of it, because it's a fairly short loop, it doesn't really matter where you are in there. You'll still be able to come in and grab a screenshot using whatever screenshot tool you want, and it will give you your saved image. So while the loop is moving, your static image will just be an image you can upload to Blackboard for me for grading. As always, if you have any questions on this lab, please contact me. And because this is a revised lab, really make sure if there's anything in the lab manual that is not clear, that you send me questions. it's possible I may have made a mistake or left something not clear in the lab manual as you go through these parts. Luckily, we're getting this lab out deployed to you guys before spring break, so you actually have a little bit of time. If you want to look at it over spring break, you can complete it early and get it turned in. Or if you'd rather wait until after spring break, and you can send me questions either spring break or the week after spring break before it's due. So this is our revised weather lab.